So it doesn't matter how we got here, here we are. We're in the business of creating real books for real people. And we have a few problems here when we're talking about creating Amazon books or low content books on Amazon and thinking about the problems and the simple fact of it's not a get rich quick scheme, not a get rich quick business. It just isn't. We have to think about what it is we're creating for people. And of course, that is real books for real people, just like I talk about here on the channel. My goal here on the channel is to help you simplify that. And that's what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at how we can solve one of the big problems inside of creating low content books for Amazon KDP. And that really is around the idea of creating something unique, again, for real people. And we're going to take a look at that right now. Here we are on Amazon, and typically the first book that people want to start off with is notebooks. But notebooks for who? For example, notebooks for women. Take a look at one of 48 of over 40,000 results of notebooks for women. And of course, we're competing against tons and tons of different brands and different types of notebooks, or what you might even call real notebooks that you see here. That this is a hardcover with a spiral bound notebook, whereas we can't create that here on Amazon KDP, but we can create books like you see here, which is a bestseller, which sells for $6.98 and also has a BSR of $2,990, which means it sells quite a lot. Click on that book so you can come over and take a look inside, get an idea of what you're creating here. Always remember, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Again, this is the type of book that we can create. This is simply a lined book, but they've added a few unique items here, like the date, a quote, a little image here to really make it different and make it unique. And again, you can see 2,452 ratings, 4.5 stars. This book is doing really well since it was uploaded. And again, you can see this is something simple, something that you can create, something you can get started, but not something you're going to get rich quick with right out of the gate. But creating a book like this as a starting point is a good idea. But what is not a good idea, and you can see here this was published June 2nd, 2019, but back to what is not a good idea, scroll down here and look at some of the products related to this item. Always remember, you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. So clicking on that book brings us over to this, and you can see this was published July 6, 2021. Take a look inside, and what you have here is your basic knockoff book where somebody saw a book that was doing well, so they basically just copied it. I mean, pretty much literally created the same interior. You can see a date here. You can see it says Think Positive. If you go back to the other book, here you can see, if you scroll down, Think Positive with the date, literally just a knockoff of the book and priced a little lower, thinking they're going to outcompete or compete with that book. Most likely it's not going to happen. And this is where people typically start with the get rich attitude, thinking or hearing about. And again, like I said, it doesn't matter what brought you here, you're here. And now you understand that you have to create real books for real people, but you can't simply just knock off a book and copy it and think you are going to succeed. You have to do your research. And again, come back to the idea of creating real books for real people. Think about a type of book you create to include even the book that I created here. There's a video here on the channel where I walk through creating this Counting Robots book. Then there's other videos on the channel where I walk you through all these different types of books to include coloring books and different types of activity books. Now, necessarily these aren't low content. This is what you get into the space or the idea of creating medium content or even high content, depending on how much effort you put into a scissor skill book, or this book that you see right here, which is another activity book. But all these books take different types of tools and they take longer to create. Not so much the cover or the design, but the interior of the book, because they have actual activities, coloring books, they have more words, they have puzzles, things like that, things of that nature. And this is where you really get into the idea of what's the problem? What is the problem that people have? People are looking for good books, real books, books that entertain them, books they're going to buy, books they're going to enjoy, books they're going to come back and buy again. And that is what you and me are in the business of doing here on Amazon KDP, creating real books for real people that solve their problem. And their problem is they want a book that they can enjoy, a book that helps them in whatever it is they're doing, a hobby, their job, keeping their kids entertained, even to the point, and I've talked about it here on the channel, of using books for some type of rehabilitation. Whether that is a person that had a stroke or when people get older and they start battling dementia or things like that. These are real books that we can create, and if you dig really deep, you can find places or spaces or niches where you can create these types of books. Now let's go back to generating ideas. Google, list of pets. We have information about cats, dogs, birds, rabbits, horses, ferrets. Now, let's take something that we think is unique out of this list. Cats, dogs, birds, rabbits, horses, ferrets. Ferrets comes off to me as quite unique. So go to Amazon, type in the word ferret. One of 48 of over 4,000 results for ferret, but you're going to see that this is ferret stuff for ferret the pet, right? Ferret carriers, well, that's a cat carrier, but I guess you could stick a ferret in a cat carrier. But collars and cages. So what do? In this case, we just drop down and we select books, and then we keep searching. What you're doing here is you're digging. You're trying to find something unique that you can create. And lo and behold, the first search result is a book called Ferret Coloring Book, 30 Patterns to Color for Stress Relief and Relaxing for Pet Owners and Lovers of Ferrets. See what they did here? They created a coloring book. Also, the coloring book is for stress relief and relaxing, and also targeted at people that own and lovers of ferrets. This is a paperback book, $6.99. Check out the BSR, 139,116. Take that over to the BSR to sales calculator over at TCK Publishing. Calculate the sales. That's 35 books per month. Keep scrolling. There's a ferret book for dummies. There's a calendar. Keep scrolling. Biology of ferrets. Ferrets are our pets. Ferrets care. Keep scrolling. And you can see here's another ferret coloring book and another ferret coloring book, another ferret calendar, the Ultimate Ferret Care Journal. The idea here is you can see that these books can be made. Whether or not they're top sellers or not is debatable, but the idea is still the same. You're creating real books for real people. Some of them are going to sell. Some of them may not. It depends on what you create, how nice it is, how well you market it, how well you describe it when you actually create it and upload it. Now let's change gears a little bit and take a look at one of the tools that I talk about here on the channel, Tangent Templates. Now, the idea here is to come here and to get an idea of what type of book it is. In the ferret example, we took an idea, people that love ferrets as a pet or animal lovers. Here we're thinking about the type of book based upon these creations that they've created inside of Tangent Templates, meaning the interiors they have created for you that you can take and use as your own or modify or just get a really good idea. Blank pages, colored ruled line paper, wide ruled line paper. I made a video here where I created a wide ruled notebook and I sold it. I did a KDP notebook challenge. You can check that out here on the channel. Hexagon paper. Just scroll down through here and take a look at all these different types of paper. And if you really dig in here and you really start looking at these different types of paper, for example, guitar tabs, take this idea of guitar tabs, take it to Google and come up with a unique angle, a unique idea on what to create, again, for a real person. How about a left-handed guitar versus a right-handed guitar player? An easy way to tell the difference between a left-handed and right-handed guitar is to hold the instrument up in front of you vertically and look at the strings. This is showing you that there are differences between left-handed guitar players and right-handed guitar players. So, does that mean that they are going to want different books? The book may or may not be different, but the idea is who you're targeting. So when you come back to Amazon, look for something like guitarist gifts. Here you're going to see lots of different things. The idea here again is to understand the mindset of the guitarist. What does a guitarist like? What does a guitarist want? And you take that, for example, I may look like I'm listening to you, but in my heart I'm playing my guitar. Think about phrases like this. Don't steal this phrase. Think about phrases like this and phrases you come up with, but maybe, for example, you take that and you spin it towards left-handed guitarist. Then you can see here, left-handed scissors, notebooks, left-handed guitar, left-handed acoustic guitar. then you can simply say left-handed guitar. And you can see here that there are products that are targeted here on Amazon for left-handed guitar. So go to left-handed guitar, scroll down, come down to books, and you're going to see left-handed guitar chord book. Now, are you going to create a low-content book that is about playing guitar? Maybe, maybe not. The idea here is if you create a book and you change the cover and you target the cover at a left-handed guitarist versus a right-handed guitarist, and you come up with a quote and you really dig deep and you understand what's the difference between a left-handed guitarist and a right-handed guitarist. They're a smaller group of people. If you create a notebook, a book with guitar tabs that is directly aimed at them, you are speaking to them. You are creating real books for real people that are left-handed. In this case, you have created something unique. You have created something that they're going to appreciate, that they're going to like. And this is the business that we are in. Creating books for people, creating unique gifts for people, creating unique books for people that they're going to buy, they're going to enjoy, they're going to come back and buy again because we've taken the time to figure out who they are, what they like, and what the book means to them. So the big problem with KDP, low content books, and KDP in general is the simple idea that it's not a get-rich-quick business. So drop that mindset. Really think about it long-term, building a real business, creating real books for real people. Think about the books you create them, put a little time, put a little effort in, take it serious, understand that you're creating something real for those real folks that are looking for something that they can enjoy, something that they can use, and like I said, something that they're going to return and buy from you again, and that's what this business is all about. And with that, I'll talk to you later. Bye.